Alright, I guess I've put this off long enough. Let's just finally talk about it. Pinocchio is the newest Disney live-action adaptation and or remake to a Disney classic from way back in the day. In this case, the 1940 film Pinocchio. We all know the story of Pinocchio at this point. I mean, you have this man, Geppetto, he's this puppet master, this guy who tinkers with clocks and things like that. He creates this puppet, names it Pinocchio. He wishes upon a star for him to come to life. Well, not to come to life, for him to become a real boy. He then comes to life as this wooden puppet, and then the blue fairy tells him, it's like, if you're brave, truthful, and unselfish, you'll become a real boy. And then, he goes on his little adventure with Jiminy Cricket to hopefully become a real boy and learn what it means to be a real boy. The Disney live-action adaptations have been, well, they've been kind of a weird journey. We've had a couple of good, even really good ones, like The Jungle Book and Beauty and the Beast. But for me, the majority of these movies have just been not good at all. The Lion King wasn't good, Mulan wasn't good, Lady and the Tramp, I didn't even fucking see that one. And unfortunately, I gotta put this live-action Pinocchio with the other lesser adaptations because, oh my gosh, this movie, it doesn't do much right. First of all, no one in this movie is memorable. I mean, Tom Hanks plays Geppetto in this movie, and he's fine. I've seen him be so much better. I mean, he's damn sure not gonna get an Oscar for this one. He does what he has to do. He plays the part fine. He's not even really in the movie much, so I mean, you could say the best performance in this movie isn't even in the movie much. Joseph Gordon-Levitt also does the voice of Jiminy Cricket, and unfortunately for me, what I think I would have liked more is if he kind of made Jiminy Cricket more of his own. In this movie, he's more or less just doing a Jiminy Cricket impression. It's not a bad impression necessarily, but I'm just like, could you at least try to do your own version of this? Also, getting into what is probably the biggest flaw this movie has that I would say a lot of these live-action adaptations have. This movie is just soulless. There's no real heart, there's no real nostalgia that like hits you and sucks you back into it. The movie has no real emotion to it. When it tries to be emotional, you don't really feel it. Like the problem with The Lion King, like, when characters felt something sad or scary or whatever it was, they used animal emotions to convey it, and it was all emotionless. None of it looked sad or scary or anything like that. This movie kind of has the exact same problem, except you have real-life actors in this movie, so what was the issue here? It almost just feels like they didn't even try. Also, I think the biggest problem that modern-day Disney has with this version of Pinocchio is they forget that the story of Pinocchio, which has been around forever, like long even before the 1940 Pinocchio movie we got, Pinocchio is a really dark, messed up story. Like, it's funny, like, it's been forever since I watched Pinocchio through and through, like the original animated Pinocchio. And I remember watching it as a kid, and I really loved it as a kid and everything like that. But as I've gotten older, and the wiser you get, the more you understand the themes that are in the movie, Pinocchio's kind of a fucking terrifying story. Like, you have the whole scene with Stromboli where he just locks Pinocchio in the cage and he's just gonna, use him, gonna bleed him dry for money, and when he's sick of him, he's just gonna turn him into firewood. Like, I remember as a kid, that guy creeped me out. I mean, he's still creepy as fuck as we get older. But Pleasure Island? Holy shit, that's the stuff of nightmares. This guy takes all these little boys, puts them on the island where they had the time of their life, and then they turn into donkeys and get sold away into coal mines and shit. Like, you watch that shit in the animated Pinocchio, and it's so fucking dark. You have the little one that can talk that's just begging to go home, and he's just gonna get thrown into the cage with the other donkeys, and you have Lampwick and his whole transformation. Holy shit, that shit's fucked up. In this movie, Pleasure Island is so, not dumbed down, it's so much of a lighter tone that it doesn't feel as, sinister or as dark or as bleak as it really is, as it's supposed to be. I'm just kind of sitting there, I'm just like, Disney has just gone soft here. Like, they don't want to give kids nightmares because Pleasure Island is actually a scary-ass place. Like, parents like telling their kids, it's like, hey, if you're bad, Santa's gonna know and you're gonna get cold for Christmas. If my parents really wanted to smarten me up, not that I was a bad kid or anything like that, but if they really wanted to put the fear of God into me, they could have just said, hey, you better smarten up or we're sending you to Pleasure Island. I would have been like, I'll be good. This movie doesn't capture that, and it's really disappointing. The movie tries to make a lighter tone version of Pinocchio, but unfortunately, I don't think that works here. Also, I really don't like how they ended this movie. I mean, the movie tries to go for more of an open ending, and for me, I don't like that. I'm trying not to give anything away, but I do like how in the original Pinocchio story, we get a definitive ending to the story. Like, you know, Pinocchio's on the quest comes to an end, here's what happens. This one tries to leave it like, well, you know, no one knows what happens, so we'll let you decide how it went down. It's like, well, where's the fun in that? It's not like it's Inception where there's a bunch of different theories that could be going through your head about what went down. It's blatantly obvious. It's like, either this happened or this happened, so why don't you just tell us? It's almost like Disney just decided to be lazy and just didn't want to create an ending, or maybe they didn't have the budget for it, or maybe just the people around it didn't care. So all in all, Pinocchio, it's a wasted live-action adaptation. Another one at that. Some of the acting is pretty good. I guess visually, Pinocchio looked alright. That being said, this movie completely lacks soul, it completely lacks heart, it completely lacks the dark storytelling that is supposed to go with Pinocchio because they don't want to give kids, you know, uneasy feelings. The movie tried to be a little original. I mean, they threw in a couple new characters here and there to try to spice things up for the movie, but did they bring anything to it? No, they didn't. In fact, I barely even remembered they were in it. It's not memorable in the slightest. It's nowhere near the level of the animation we got decades ago. And in the end, the good news is Guillermo del Toro is supposed to release his version of Pinocchio later in the year. I have a feeling that one's going to be better. I mean, way better. So, hold on to hope for that one. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. And as always, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.